area lit up. So we call this area stalactite chamber, and for good reason. If you see these straw-like structures, these are called stalactites. Now, these are formed from something called calcium carbonate. For short, we call it calcite.
Your destination is on the left.
And that's the most important question. Can we get back? That's the most important one. She's bringing you down, but she didn't say about bringing you home. And enjoy your trip. What do you mess with you? Come on, let's go.
Actually see the shake hole a lot clearer on the right hand side, okay? Nice, and this exposed rock over here is Dartry limestone, which is a sedimentary rock. And this would have formed about 320 million years ago when Ireland was closer to the equator, and this was all a tropical ocean. Now, in the tropical ocean, there was an abundance of sea creatures. When the sea creatures died, their remains fell to the seabed. The pressure of the water compressed these down to create the rock. Now, if you see along, there is some cracks. The horizontal cracks are called bedding planes. They were caused by interruptions in the laying down of the sediment. And if you see the vertical lines or cracks, they're called joints, and they were caused by earthly movements. Now, limestone is a very special type of rock as it can be eroded away. And this erosion is what has created the cave passageway and what allows us to get into the cave today. So we're going to make our way down, and again, just take a look to the right.
What is that? Oh, it's like a little. It looks like a mouse. I think it's brown. It's a small. It's a mini otter. Yeah, it's a brown mouse. It's like a mini otter. It looks like a mouse.
entrance, which is the way down to the boat. Just before we head down, a few health and safety points. You will notice the lights are quite dim, so it'll take your eyes a few moments to adjust. If the lights go out, it's really unlikely, but there's a backup generator. It'll be on in about 10 seconds. I also have a strong torch on me here and torches and glow sticks behind here, so we can have a wee cave party. Now, if anyone wants to leave the tour, just let me know. I have a radio on me here, so I'll contact reception. They'll send down someone to get you and bring you out of the cave. Just don't wander off on your own, stay right, okay? There is no eating, drinking or smoking in the cave. Water is fine. And there is some rocks head height to foot level. I point out the main ones, but just be careful coming through, okay? And finally, please do not touch any of the formations. They've taken thousands of years to form. We don't want anything to happen to them today, okay? So that's all the boards have out of the way. If you want to follow me,
But don't do it. Just listen to me. Just keep on. Yeah. And don't touch it again. Except the boat. And the rocks are on your head. So that your side. Yeah. But don't do it. Just listen to me. Yeah. And don't touch it again. Except the boat. And the rocks are on your head. I don't know why, but I feel like it's a roller coaster, but it's not. Yeah. I feel like there's gonna be
Stand here, raise your face and low rock. Be careful.
too big. Interesting.
Now guys, just before we head down the steps, I've just been telling you a bit about the history of the caves. So for hundreds of years, the locals here knew that the caves existed, but they had many superstitions about the caves. They thought that they were haunted and that there was goblins and ghosts, everything you can imagine was in the caves. It wasn't until 1895 that the Earl of Enniskillen at the time, who owned all of this land, including the caves, decided to hire two men to come in and explore them. So he hired a Frenchman named Edward Martel, who was a cave scientist, and he was accompanied by a Dublin man named Mr. Jamesman, who was an actor. Now they would have also travelled on the water we're going on today, only they would have had a collapsible canvas canoe and only a wax candle on their helmet to light their way. So we're going to follow on by these steps. They're a wee bit steeper, so use the hand railing. Guys, just those at the end. Here we've got Jordan. Jordan's going to be one of our boat drivers for today. He's going to give you a safety talk about.
So, you're all very welcome to the boat part of the tour. We're actually going to take 2 boats today. About half of these will come with myself and Lana on the first boat, and the other half will go on the second boat for the second boat. Right? So, the thing about the boats is that they're flat-bottomed boats. That just means when you step on them, and you do rock a bit, okay? But that's perfectly normal, okay? It's the best way to get on them is to step on the seat first, okay? So, here's the seat. You lower yourself down, grab the handrails, and then in you go. I'm going to hold the boat steady for you unless you do this as well, okay? A bit similar for getting out. Handrails, seat, and away you go. Okay, just do whatever feels comfortable, right? Please keep your hands in the boat at all times, either on your lap or on the handrail. You know, it's tempting to put your hands in the water against the rock, but the boat's made of solid steel, okay? And if you get your hands caught between the boat and the rock, it would not be very nice. Okay, just bear that in mind. Please don't stand up during the boat ride or move the bike, swap places with anyone, because that will cause it to rock as well. You can take pictures if you want. We just wouldn't recommend putting everything over the water, okay? Because that, if it falls in, we can't get it where it's gone. If any have bags there, if somebody's do, anything with a strap best to take off, put it down on your lap or by your feet, just snag on the rock, okay? Trust me, it's happened to me myself, especially this first bit we're going through. So, you didn't really go arch with it. But we've had about 1.5 million people on these boats. None of them have ever fallen in the water, okay? That being said, it's the first time for everyone, okay? So if you are the first in the water, first thing you can do is stop. Okay, most of the water doesn't come above your waist, so you have it, okay? So that being said, there's one point in the river, it's about 4 meters deep later on. If you're lucky enough to fall in there, you can either hold on to the side of the boat, or if it's closer, you can go to the wall of the cave. The wall of the cave has this rope that runs along it, and go grab onto that. You should be able to get used to sometime tonight, alright? How many do you have? 20? Yes. Any groups of 6 or 7? Yeah, 5. Your 6 is your group?
5.
Any other groups of 5? 5. Oh, perfect.
Yeah, we do 5.
Yeah.
He's been there waiting and moved it.
See you tomorrow.
Now folks, we are approaching this really low archway here, so can everyone duck their heads to the centre of the boat? Now especially if you're on the right hand side, so everyone just keep their heads down, yeah? Yeah, keep your hands inside the boat.
Yeah.
Folks,
No, keep your hands inside the boat.
get your hands off the rock, okay?
High heel.
Yeah, keep your heads down and Jordan will get you under the archway, okay?
People on the right, just be careful of that.
Yeah, just keep your heads down another wee moment. Nice, you can lift your head. You can see we've entered a much bigger chamber. So this is a lot more similar to the sizes of the chambers we will be going through for the rest of today. And if you can imagine Martell and Jameson coming through here on their collapsible canvas canoe with only a wax candle to light their way, which could have very easily been put out by the drips of water dripping down from above. Now, you would have some surprise when you came around the corner and saying, So over.
She must be there for sleeping there.
So over on our third boat, we've got Magella. So when he is falling in the water, Magella will be in straight off waves. What? Now, so straight ahead, these two boulders balancing on each other. This is a natural boulder archway, and these have been balancing like this since the last ice age, so for the past 13,000 years. Now, they weigh about 15 tons, so that's the weight of 2 double-decker buses or 4 baby elephants. Now we are passing the deepest part of the water here, so it is about 3 or 4 metres deep. And if you take a wee look up to the left, you can see how delicately balanced they are on one another.
Oh, crocodile.
Now, straight ahead, you see the cluster of boulders. This is Boulder Island, and this marks where the 3 tributaries join together. So from the right, you've got the Shrew, Croppa and Laharan, and from the left, you've got the Owen Brain. And the 3 of these join up to make the Cladagh River. Now, so it's just those on the left, we are going under another little archway, so just duck your head down if it's me. And if you take a look up to the right we've got Grand Gallery. Now Grand Gallery goes on for another 1.5 kilometres. It's the height of a cathedral and the width of a football pitch. But we're not going that way today, so we're going to follow round to the left and pull up at the jetty. Now can I ask that everyone just stay seated until myself and Jordan get the boat tied up, then we will head these out one at a time, starting from the front. Just one at a time. So we start with yourself, you can take my hand, please. Perfect. Yeah, just one at a time to go across. And if I ask you to take up a step just up there off the jetty, please. You can take my hand if you need it. Take my hand, brilliant job. And great.
Thank you.
If I can ask you to take a couple of steps just so you can drop the jetty. That's great there, yeah, you can stop there. Your rope, Jordan's like trailing in the water.
Oh yeah.
That's it. What did you think of the boats? Good?
Nice. It's a bit scary.
Do you think?
But you can see we're not going that way today. Instead, we're heading towards the second jetty. I'm going to ask that everyone please remain seated with their hands on the inside of the boat and try to pull up. I lost myself and land and tie up the roller. This is off on the time. Starting with
Ven aquí.
bumped up as much as possible just so we can let everyone up off the steps. Nice, so I hope the boat journey gave you a wee bit of an idea of what Martel and Jameson's journey would have been like. Now, when they got to this point, they would have packed up their collapsible canvas canoe down there at the sandbank and brought it along with them on their journey. Now, if you can imagine, it would have been very different in their time. There would have been no pathways, no handrails, no light. It would have been pitch black. And as I said, the only light that Martel would have had would be the wax candle on the rim of his helmet. But he also had 2 magnesium flares with him, and when he reached this point, he decided to light one of his magnesium flares. And when he did, this whole area lit up. So we call this area stalactite chamber, and for good reason. If you see these straw-like structures, these are called stalactites. Now, these are formed from something called calcium carbonate. For short, we call it calcite. And it actually forms really simply. Rainwater is weakly acidic. It percolates down through the cracks in the cave roof. It becomes saturated with this calcite, and over time a wee bit gets deposited. Now, this is a very slow process. So you see one of the ones I'm pointing at is about 1 centimetre in length. That would have taken over 1,000 years to form. And just here I'm shining my light at this formation. This is called a cascade. And a cascade forms when stalactites clump together. But if you notice, it is a lot darker in colour. That's because minerals such as iron ore and manganese have leaked down from above. Now again, when the drops drift down, they drift onto this stone below here. So this is called a flowstone. And a flowstone forms when the calcite deposits in sheets. Now you might notice it is quite dry looking, and that's because it's no longer active. But I will show you an active flowstone a wee bit further on. Now we nicknamed this flowstone the castle because when Martel came up here and seen it, he thought it reminded him of the old Irish ring fence. Now if I could get everyone to really carefully just turn around and take a look up behind us on the cave roof, just really carefully. So just up here we have the first of our cave foods. Does anyone want to guess what we call it? It's a vegetable. It's over here from time to life.
Potato.
This is our cave cauliflower. Now it's just like a stalactite, but bacteria distorted its natural crystal structure, giving it this cauliflower-like appearance. In the free attitude. And free attic is actually a Latin word meaning free of air. So at one point in time, all of this area here would have been completely filled with water. Now the water found a weakness in the rock, which is why it no longer flows through here. But there's evidence of this water in the cave wall, and you see these wee marks. These are called scalloping marks, and these were formed by eddies or whirling pools in the water. And if you notice up here, they're quite small, and if you follow my line down, you can see they get much larger. Basically, the faster the water was flowing, the smaller these scalloping marks actually were. Now, Martel and Jameson didn't get much further than this point, and that was due to their lack of resources and poor trade. But if you skip forward to 1935, another group of cavers from England came over called the Yorkshire Ramblers. Now, they had more equipment. Obviously, time had moved on, and they discovered this passageway way up here. So we call this the flyover passage. And the Yorkshire Ramblers would have climbed up through all of this rock here, through the flyover, which is about a metre in height and about 50 metres in length, and this allowed them to get into the next part of the cave. Now, who wants to go first? Volunteer! You're very brave. No, we're going to stick to the pathways today, but I'll show you the exit to that a wee bit further on. Disappointed? It does get quite narrow, so if you need to use the water balance coming through, please do. Nice, this is the Cuilcagh River, and this is where Marge has his journey.
She said it was water, that's why.
This one brings me left there to the edge. Oh yeah, so if we have heavy rain, like the case we completely flood, yeah, so the first bit that is put off the river is in those parts of the river where there's some loss, and then some parts of the river just happen more in the winter, but obviously the weather here in the summer can really too. It wouldn't rise quite to the top, but it would be well up. See, the second kind of one up, it would rise to the top there, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, we wouldn't have heard that. But sometimes we heard we made whatever we can, and even when it's done, we do maybe up into the river down the steps, then you'll see it. That's all. Yeah. Nice, and just up here is the exit to that flyover passage. So the Yorkshire Ramblers would have came from behind there, down along this rock, and into this area which is called New Chamber. That was the name given by the Yorkshire Ramblers because it was the first chamber they discovered themselves. But if you see here, this rock looks quite smooth. That's because generations of cavers continue to use this passageway as a way to get through the cave. So it's almost polished the rock. And that shows how easily the limestone can be eroded away. Now, if you remember from the boat journey, we mentioned the rivers. Up ahead, we're going to join up with the Owen Brae, and we're going to follow the Owen Brae for the rest of the tour today. Now, so just when you reach the top of the steps, just ahead the corner is a piece of overhang rock on the left. So now please stay into the right of the hand. example of an active flowstone. Now this flowstone would have formed, if you see this stalactite up here, the calcite would have dripped down from it and deposited over these boulders, giving it this bumpy structure. Now as it is still active, eventually it will cover all of these boulders here. Now we actually call this flowstone the porridge pot after the story of the magic porridge pot overflowing and covering everything in its way. Now you might think it looks sticky like porridge, but it's actually rock solid. And this is the biggest formation that we have throughout the entire cave. So just over here we've got our longest cascade. It's over 3 metres in length. Now we call this one the organ pipe, because the locals believed it looked like a set of church organ pipes. But in recent times, more and more people have said it reminds them of Davy Jones's beard from the Pirates of the Caribbean. Anyone ever seen it? No. And you see here at the bottom of the cascade, it's met with this flowstone, and along the edge, there's these wee pools of water. Now these are called brimstone pools, but we do actually have a better example of those a wee bit further on. Nice, so we're just going to make our way to the other side of the cave now, and the next pathway is a wee bit steeper. There also is some rocks sticking out at foot level, especially in your left, just step it right through the line. So here we're standing in Canyon Passage, and we call it Canyon Passage as we thought it resembled the Grand Canyon, but upside down. Now if you see along here there's erosion, typically limestone would erode down, but because the Glencore limestone below here is a lot stronger than the Dartry limestone up here, it is caused to corrode away rather than down. Now this will keep eroding away, and eventually this will all collapse. Not today, don't worry.
What is this shit? Go.
cave Cuilcagh, but this is actually our fastest growing formation. So as I said, it takes 1 centimetre every 1,000 years to form. This one formed at the really fast rate of 1 centimetre every 100 years. So it's 10 times faster. And that's because of the constant dripping of water means the calcite is always being deposited. So we call this one Speedy Gonzales. Just over here we have this flowstone I was telling you about that is a great example of these rimstone pools. Now these form when the drops drip down, it creates a ripple effect which pushes the calcite to the edge, creating the rim. But if you notice in some of them, there's stones and pebbles. These get deposited when the water levels rise in the cave. It can carry the stones from around here and deposit them in the rimstone pools. Nice, so originally this is as far as we thought the show cave could go, and that's because you'll notice as we go down how close together the rock and the water is. But a very clever engineer from Dublin came up with the idea to create this pathway through the centre which divided the water in two. Now that's why we call this walkway the Moses Walk, after the story of Moses parting the Red Sea. Now just a reminder for everyone, you aren't allowed to touch the formations, and as we go down we are going to be the closest to them, so just a wee reminder. Also halfway down there is a piece of very low hanging rock head height. I'll point it out to you again, but just be careful coming through, okay? So follow me. Hi guys, so just going to take a wee look here where I'm shining my light into the water. So here we've got our lost city of Atlantis. However, it is really lost. You see now, it's just stones and pebbles. So it's literally just a reflection of the stalactites from above. Now folks, if I could have everyone's attention here, so at the corner of this piece of very low hanging rock head height, so can everyone please remember to duck as he's coming through, okay? Just those at the back as well, remember to duck. Okay.
Just walk.
One step forward so that everyone's side of the load off there. Hi, so just over here we've got this thatch, and this is the name given by the locals as they thought it resembled the old thatched cottages. Now this is another flowstone, and it would have formed when below here there was sand and boulders, but the water came and washed these away, leaving this flowstone suspended in air. Now it's also hollow in the centre. Now this next and there's no hand reading, so can everyone please stay to the centre and be really careful coming through. Here we've reached Dirty Glen, and this is as far as this show you go. But there is another 3.5 kilometres of not to see right this direction, making this total length 11.5 kilometres, which makes for the second longest cave system in Ireland. The longest is in County Fermanagh, with a length of 16 kilometres. Now just keep going up just to the end here where I'm shining my light. Here we've got an example of a stalagmite. Now stalagmites are very similar to stalactites, but they form in the cave floor and up. Now they're quite rare in the cave here, because as the water levels do rise, it can wash away the calcite that would have been deposited. But just the end here where I'm shining my light, this is our largest stalagmite. We call him the boss. And if you see there the 5 smaller stalagmites behind, they're our stalagmite family. We call them the Flintstones. Now guys, we're going to make our way back. There is a few more formations to stay in the way. But does anyone have any questions at all to make an answer? Okay. So we don't follow me. As a cave column or pillar. It forms when a stalactite and stalagmite join together. Now the same will happen over here, so we call this one our married couple and this one our engaged couple, and it's going to come back in about 6,000 years to when. These are all very good. Very low hanging rock, so can everyone please remember the dog coming through.
What day, careful.
like double up, just so everyone at the back can see as well, okay? Now again, there is this rock here called level, so stay to the left one half. Over here where I'm shining my light. Here we've got our longest stalactite. Now we named this one after Martel. Even though we didn't make it this far, we just thought it was quite appropriate. So it's over 2.5 meters in length, meaning it would have taken over 250,000 years to form. Now you don't live this long without a sad story to tell. So if you see there about 30 centimeters from the bottom, there's a faint grey line. That's not the line that's here. So about 30 centimeters from the bottom. So Van actually broke into the cave in 1984 when all the work was being done to create the show cave. They threw stones and rocks at this stalactite. Unfortunately, they did have a good aim and they knocked the tip of it off. But luckily below here was a sandbank at the time, and it was recovered by the workers the next morning. Now it was brought to the Ulster Museum where a special calcite resin, so like a super glue for the rock, was created and it was stuck back on. But we don't know if it will continue to form. We'll have to wait till 2084 to see if it's grown a whopping 1 millimetre. So we just have to wait and see. Yeah. If you want to come back to your ladders and readers, just to check it out. And you can take a wee seat up the top of the steps, okay?
I escaped from the cave. Oh, the stones.
Don't worry, I'll open the house for you.
Okay.